Until the end of this weekend, Supps is offering free shipping on orders over $30 with my code Thorin, Thorin, at gamersupps.gg. So you can check out their flavours. If you want to stock up, now's the time. By the way, if you make an order, pro tip, just add in free samples as well, since the shipping's free anyway, so you just get to try out some of the extra flavours, see which ones you enjoy. Some of my favourite flavours include the Guacamole Game of Art 9000, which is actually strawberry and lime. There's the citrus, is it lemonade? I think the citrus lemonade's the one that I'm a fan of. Dragon Fruit Punch is always a classic, can't go wrong with any of those. Right, people might have noticed, thinking of how active and prolific I've been on my channel for many, many years in esports, there's been a period of reduced activity the last month and a half or so. Part of that is I'm working on some other things, some of which you're seeing some of the fruits come to bear publicly. Others have yet to, finalising some things behind the scenes, including some things that have now been finalised, hence this video. So first things first, some content you are used to watching on this channel is no longer going to be hosted on this channel and is going to be hosted on a brand new channel. So if you go to this channel here, this is called the Insight on Esports CSGO channel. Insight on Esports is just a temporary name for now. And that is going to be a channel only for CSGO content, and it is going to have Snake and Banter that I do with Maui Snake. The first episode is already there waiting. You can go watch it right now. It has Launders as the guest. Counterpoints will be returning with Moses. That will be its new home. There will also be some other shows, but I'll wait until you see those shows on that channel before revealing them. Maybe they're not all mine to reveal. Now, obviously, shows like Snake and Banter, Counterpoints, it's long been a dream of mine to actually be able not just do these shows, but to well compensate my co-hosts here. Not spoiler, none of us make much money off the ad rev off those shows, so I've always wanted them to get paid like they would if they did a show like that for me for one of the outlets. Like when I do Pop Flash with Deserto, it'd be cool to get those guys paid. But I always appreciate that they did the shows, we were able to build up, get exposure, have cool conversations, and now it's brought us to a point where yes, we can get paid for doing those shows. Because what's happening is I'm doing a company with Monty and Richard Lewis that is going to be part of this brand. We're going to change the branding in the future. And this is not the announcement of that company, by the way. All that stuff's going to come later. A lot of it's not ready yet, but I'm just letting you know for my channel, that's why some of this stuff's moving over at this point in time. But that's all I'm moving, though. Understand that. Like Thorin's Thoughts videos, Thorin Versus, all that good that's all going to remain here. We'll be here for years to come at this point in time. So there will essentially be different flavours based on the channels. And as I build up that company, I'll change what I do on this channel. I'll make it always have its own unique sort of direction. So if you like shows like Big Brains, Esports Salon, Thorin Versus, Daring Minds, I just did my Valorant one, Know-It-Alls with Lurpis, Know-It-Alls CS, a show that actually I've got one coming soon with a smaller content creator. In fact, one thing I plan to use this channel for as well is shows that maybe one day might end up with that other company getting the co-host paid. I'm going to use this as sort of the testing ground. I'm going to bring in some of these smaller content creators as I've done over the years, but instead of building them up purely for exposure and then they go elsewhere and get paid by the scumbags of the industry, why don't I build it up and then hopefully transition it over if it's successful and I get them paid and they work with me and my company? Sounds great, right? It's actually kind of sad helping people come up as a protege than having to send them out in the world to get fucked over by all the arseholes in the industry, exploited in the same way as I did, but maybe with the odd piece of advice to help them dodge a few pitfalls. But you still, don't worry, everyone gets the fucking beating no matter how good a job they do. That's the fucking esports industry for you. So the other thing it's well to say is there's so many possibilities coming from this new company angle, but as I say, it's not my place to announce it now. It is not the time to announce it now. Now, the reason I bring this up is because I'm never going to be a guy with my sponsorships where I'm just mailing it in, or it's just something that's not even effective for the sponsor, or doesn't allow me to have fun with it and be creative and fit the product. Also, the product has to be legit. These are all things that are important to me. Now, some of the things that you might see on this new channel in the coming future, I'll give you a couple that you'll see right now. So we've already begun them. Watch parties. I already did one for the ESL Pro League semi-final between... let me think. I think we did the Fury versus FaZe Clan game. Maybe some skits a la Flashpoint. There will be content with actual game footage in and me talking over the top. Could be narrative, could be analysis. Something I've always wanted to do for my channel, but on my personal channel, I just didn't want to do it because I didn't want scumbags in the industry being able to use copyright strikes. I've got a little bit more safety in this new channel. Historic stuff, looking at like history, documentaries, stuff. Maybe I'll do my own series of awards since everything else is woke as fuck out there. Maybe I'll do I mean, one day we will, just it's not ready now. One day there will also be non-esports stuff with these personalities that you know and perhaps love on not that channel, but under that umbrella, that content umbrella. So my main channel, which is where you are now, is still going to be around. And I've even got some fun new angles, I think, to go into while I move some of my other content elsewhere. Like, one thing I plan on doing is, my mistake has been, I've fought way too many battles on Twitter that only ever stayed on Twitter and never went anywhere else. So what I've got to do is what Richard does a brilliant job with, which is when these battles go on and these scandals, and you have a week of them all on sending you stupid messages, and some of them are just Zoomba idiots from Discords, and some are famous check marks trying to get in and get their clout and their likes. What you do is this: you take the discussion from the medium you don't control, Twitter, to the medium you do, your YouTube channel, and you make a video where you show what utter cunts these people are, how silly the things they're saying are, you make fun of them, you make it an entertaining product, you get to almost like alchemically transform the shit of the world into something fun and entertaining, and you actually get paid for it. So I'm going to start doing that. Like, spoiler, I'll be bringing all that shit that everyone, your meltdown about women, you'll see how outrageous that is when you actually see what people in the industry were doing to me. So just don't worry, we're gonna get all the cunts from over the years, boys. I'm gonna go deep on all that shit. And that's the other thing. I want to have it be fun though. I want to change the dynamic on it and make it a way to like cleanse myself of being mired in that shite. Then also, I've hinted at it many times, but I've got a whole series of them already planned. The first ones are already being recorded, and it's going to be my narrative mechanics series, where I take a narrative that I think's really skewed, and I'll show you using the wikis and the actual match information. I'll guide you through that history and show you how they completely contextualized that incorrectly or framed it in a fucked up way, or I just fundamentally disagree with some of the conclusions and some of the principles at play. I've got so many we can go with that in League of Legends and CSGO and Quake. Oh, we can go deep on that. That could even be, I could see that being a big new channel for my angle for my channel. I've got so many great pieces like that. So the key thing is, this is my big push to keep doing free content with this new company, with this new direction for some of the stuff on my channel, still maintaining the old classics like the Thorin's Thoughts and the Thorin Verses. But if for some reason this new angle doesn't work out in the way I want it to, the other future that I'm considering is some sort of a paywall angle. Now, I'd probably use a freemium model where you got like half of it free and then part was to be paid for or whatever. And I won't go into the details now. It's just, I've got to the point in my career now where I've seen from my Patreon what even a small financial threshold does to get rid of 99% of annoying arseholes. And I've also seen, quite frankly, that if I actually get people to pay for it, they appreciate it. Whereas the people who get my shit for free just complain in an entitled manner as though I'm not doing a good enough job. Spoiler, no one will ever put in as many fucking decades as I have to making fucking free videos for you about children's video games tournaments, you morons. Like, if you don't get it now, you're never going to. So quite frankly, I'd like that person to be locked outside because they refuse to pay. And anyone who pays even a measly amount can come in and be welcomed and enjoy the content, as it were. By the way, one other thing I will be doing, just because if you're watching this channel you might be interested, is a lot of people always ask me like, oh, are you going to put more stuff on your side channel, like Thorin's side, like we do more content, would you do something about like the Iliad, or would you do something more about Game of Thrones, or what about music you like? I actually have plans in the coming weeks to launch a Patreon for my side channel only. It will only be for people who want non-esports stuff and want to essentially give me carte blanche to just go ham in my own directions of what I'm interested in. But there's some pretty interesting stuff coming up. So for the small amount of you that are interested, and there's an overlap there, obviously you can check out content that's already there. But that's something that will be forthcoming. There'll still be a lot of great content on this channel. This is still my main channel overall. But in the future, you'll see how I'm transitioning it. And once you see the announcement of that, what's going on with the new company and the other things that are going to be there, it'll start to make a bit more sense. But definitely, if you're a fan of shows like Snake and Banter and the forthcoming Counterpoints, be sure to go to that channel, subscribe, because you won't be finding them here.
Hey, it's simple, you're watching Thorin channel. Shut the fuck up, you fucking bitch.
This video was kindly supported by Ahmed Hadjou, Matt Pugnatio Rajcula, Travis Goff, Adam Ochs, Animosity, Butt Pounder 420, Hades, Jensen Goh, Joseph Ginsburg, Kovacevicd, Tobias Bernasconi, Tooorin, William Peyton Lacy, Zoomba, Zyrathenia, and a special thanks always goes out to Jerky's Minion. Want to suggest a topic or a guest? Want to ask a question in my monthly AMA? I promise they're coming. Want teasers for my upcoming content? Would you like to be in one of those lengthy donated discussions with me? Well, if any of the above tickles your fancy, or the other perks available, put your money where your mouth is and join the Scrolluminati today, where? In the description box below.